Namaste my fellow strikers, Holy Materia here, back with another Shinobi Striker video. Today we're going to be talking about the best DLC for each class in 2023, but before we get into it, be sure to Shinobi Strike that like button and subscribe for more content. Alright, so let's get it. Okay, so Season 5 has just ended. It was the best season by far we've gotten in Shinobi Striker, and we got a teaser that Season 6 should be coming soon. So let's update this best DLC tier list for 2023 and talk about everything that's happened since the last video. Okay, so this time let's start with the attack, because I'd say that this is probably the one that's changed the most. Overall, I'm still gonna say that Adult Naruto is the best attack DLC, like Naruto Boruto version, the one with the Kurama Link mode and all the Kurama jutsu. He still has just overall the best stuff that you can have in the game. He has both of his ninjutsu are really great. They counter a bunch of stuff. They can break Sand Shield and Water Pillar. They can go through guard, so they can get through Susanoo armor still. And then his ult is still the best ultimate in the game, like for any class. The Kurama Link mode ult is so good. It's so good for the individual who uses it, but it's also great for their whole team. Gives your teammates their ninjutsu back. It gives them health. It gives you full health pretty much right away. Makes you faster. It makes you stronger. It makes you jump higher. It makes your attack tracking better. It does all kinds of stuff. Then you can activate the second part, and you can one-shot most opponents with that. So it's still just the best thing that is in the game. It's just the overall best ultimate. It has so much utility. It does so much for you and your team on any game mode. And that's another thing. Like the Adult Naruto DLC is good in every game mode. Like you can use it for combat to get kills or to do damage. You can use it in base to knock people off of bases or break barriers like Sand Shield or Susanoo armor. You can use it in flag to defend the flag. You can use the Kurama Link mode ult to run the flag. It's just the best overall DLC in the game still to this day. But I would say that the thing that's coming close to it now is the Baryon Mode Naruto from the Season 5 DLC, because Baryon Bullet Barrage is just so good that it almost makes it worth getting, just because that jutsu alone is so great. His ultimate is good, but it takes so long to get that it ends up not really being worth it all the time. It's another transformation ult where you have two new jutsu. When you do it, you have one that teleports you and another one that does like a kick move that you rush at your opponent and do a kick, and then you can activate it again to do a massive Rasengan that can one-shot most opponents besides defense types. So that ultimate is great. The tail breaker jutsu is not all that good, so I wouldn't say that you would get this DLC for that. He also comes with a sub, but it's not anywhere close to one of the best subs in the game. But then Kawaki is also up there. He is still one of the best. His Imperial Wrath is one of the best moves in the game, one of the most broken moves in the game still to this day. And then his ult one shots, it still acts kind of crazy sometimes, but his ult is great. And then the Strange Taste is also really good at making you get your ult back faster. Like people get their ults within 1 minute if they use that the right way, especially on base where people are standing still a lot. And then also honorable mention to Shisui, who's still great. Oboro Garuma is one of the best moves in the game. Kodo is one of the best moves on flag battle. It's another ultimate that's like a supportive ult for attack types. And like I've always said, attack types have all the best DLC. The only DLC that I wouldn't recommend is probably Killer B, but even he has some decent moves, so there's really no attack DLC that's bad. They're all really great, so it's hard to say like which one is the best, but I would still say that Adult Naruto or Naruto Boruto version is the best one. Okay, so now let's talk about range types. So this season range types got Temari, but she's not better than Adult Sasuke, who's still the best range type DLC. Adult Sasuke comes with 3 ninjutsu, which are all good, and he has a great ultimate as well. They recently buffed Heavenly Hand Power to make it's like one of the most useful things in the game, because it has super armor when you activate it, so you can use it to like get out of combos. You don't get interrupted when you're trying to cast it. Like a lot of times when you try to run the flag with it before, you could get like knocked out of the animation just from like a kunai or something like that, but now you can super armor through that stuff, so it makes that move so much better than it used to be. Flame Lightning is still, in my opinion, the second best ranged ninjutsu in the game after Majestic Destroyer Flame. It has so much utility. It's one of the best flag defenders in the game. You can use it to reset combos, or you can use it to extend your combos. So if you knock somebody down, you can pull them back up to make the combo keep going. And then Onyx Chidori is also a great move, and it can break things like True Seeker Orbs, and I think Nido Jizo also, so it's really useful too. And then his ultimate is great. It can one-shot most people, as long as you do it from the right distance. Like, you kind of have to be like a little bit far away to a medium distance. Don't use it up close, because you might hit them, but it won't kill them. It'll just catch them on fire. Oh, and also Flame Lightning is even better now than it was the last time I made this video, because all of the Amaterasu moves lower your opponent's defense now when they get hit by them, including Flame Lightning. So yeah, so now that move is even better than it used to be, and it was already one of the best moves in the game. But yeah, honorable mention still, once again, to Madara, because Majestic Destroyer Flame is so great. I would still say it's the best range jutsu in the game. It just does so much. It has so much utility. It's great on every game mode. It can break Sand Shield and Water Pillar, breaks guards, knocks people back. It has a good tracking, and it has a huge hitbox, so it can be difficult for most players to dodge. So yeah, that's still the best move in the game. But Madara's other two moves aren't all that great. Like, his ultimate is still not good, even though they keep buffing it. Hiding an Ass Jutsu can be good in certain situations and depending on your playstyle, but it's not one of the best moves in the game for sure. But I also give an honorable mention to Temari, because since she's come out in season 5, she's provided range types with the best ultimate in the game. So the Tornado ult of hers is easily the best range type ult in the game right now. It's the most meta thing that you see. It's so good, especially like when you combine it with your teammates. It's good at pulling people in, and then they can do other things while they're trapped in there, and you can even finish people off while they're in the tornado yourself. And her Tornado ninjutsu, her wind type jutsu, is also really good, especially on base. It's one of my favorite moves on base now. But the Weasel one, which is the one I was excited about because it can stop people from being healed and getting buffs, is actually not all that great. It's good if you utilize it with your teammates, if you're all coordinated, but when you're playing like a solo queue, it's not all that effective. And both of her ninjutsu, she can get knocked out of them pretty easily because they have a long startup. So she's definitely not better than Adult Sasuke, but honorable mention to her because she does have some really good moves. And then for healers, Itachi is still the best healer DLC in the game. They just nerfed Yasaka Beads, but I think it was a good nerf. But even still, Yasaka Beads is the best healer jutsu, like outside of jutsu that heal your team. It's still the best jutsu that healers have. So yeah, Yasaka Beads got nerfed, but it still does great damage for a healer ninjutsu. It still has good tracking, even though they nerfed the tracking, but before the tracking was way too good. So even with the nerf, it still has really good tracking. It still breaks guards, it still goes through, or it still can't be subbed. It still can defend you from anything, including every ultimate in the game. So yeah, it's still got just the best utility of any move that healers have. It's still a great move. And Itachi's ultimate, Izanami, is still probably the best healer ult also. It revives your teammates, it gives them back their ninjutsu, it resets the opponents, and it takes away any debuffs that are on your team and removes any buffs on the opponent's team. And you can stun people with the second activation, and it can pitfall people. So it's one of the best ultimates in the whole game. It might be up there with Kurama Link mode for like the best ult in the game, actually, now that I think about it. So yeah, that they nerfed that recently to make it so that it takes longer to get, but it's still the best healer ultimate easily, especially because Tsukuyomi, or Infinite Tsukuyomi, is glitchy sometimes still, so hopefully they patch that soon. But his other ninjutsu, Tsukuyomi, is just okay. They need to buff that for real. That's the biggest thing that needs a buff in the game, because it's so hard to hit and it just doesn't really do that much, and most of the time your teammates knock them out of it before it even does the whole before it even gets all its use. So it's just not a really good jutsu for how difficult it is to land. It doesn't do enough, and that move was so good in the anime, so it should completely cripple your opponents. But they nerfed that DLC to try to tone it down because it's so much better than every other healer DLC. But it's still the best, and there's nothing else that's even close. Like Six Paths Naruto is still not close. Madara definitely isn't close. Six Paths Madara is definitely not close. So yeah, there's no other healer DLC that's even coming close to Itachi, even after those nerfs. So there's really not even an honorable mention for healers. Oh yeah, and Itachi also comes with the explosive clone, which is one of the best clones in the game. Even though it has a 40-second cooldown, it's really useful, especially in base battle, and it can be used for every class. So it's really overpowered when you have something like Sharingan with it, or Kodo or something like that. So yeah, that's another great thing about the Itachi DLC. Okay, and on to defense. So for defense, still Neji is the best DLC for defense types, because Hazan Strike is just too good. They haven't done anything to make it any different than it was since the last video. It's still overpowered. It doesn't do that much damage, but it takes away your sub. It has the best tracking of probably anything in the whole game. It goes halfway across the map. It's just one of the best things that there's so many different ways you can use it. You can use it in combat and base battle. It breaks sand shield, water pillar, can't be guarded. You could use it to run flags. You could use it to chase somebody who's running a flag. It just has so much utility. It's one of the best ninjutsu in the whole game. Body blow is still not that great. Yeah, it's just not that great. It's just not that good at jutsu. And its ultimate is good. It's not like the best ult, but it's still really good, and especially on base where people are standing still or defending the flag, and it takes away people's ninjutsu, or it takes away people's ult charge, just like Hazan Strike also takes away some ult charge. But yeah, Neji is the best just based off of the fact that Hazan Strike is just one of the best moves in the game, and it's one of the easiest moves to use too, so it's really good for new players. But it's used just as often with experienced players and in the comp scene. Like most people who play comp, if you don't have Hazan Strike on, you're basically selling your team in a legit match. So yeah, it's the best move, one of the best ninjutsu in the whole game. But especially for defense types. Honorable mention to Sasuke, because pretty much on the strength of the fact that he comes with the best clone in the game, which is a game changer. I never thought that a clone would be so good that it changes the game, but time space hop is just one of the best things that's in Shinobi Striker right now, and it doesn't look like they're gonna nerf it, because it's been kind of broken for a long time, and it's still just, they haven't changed it. I don't know why, but yeah, that clone makes you invulnerable for a long time, and it makes you get your ninjutsu back faster, and it's only 25 seconds, which is one of the lowest time periods for a clone in the game, which is crazy because it's the best clone, but it has one of the lowest cooldowns, which I just don't understand. And then Susanoo armor is great. It's one of the most annoying things to go against. There are a lot of counters to it now, but it's still great, because if your opponents don't have a counter to it, then you just can run around fighting people without having to worry about getting attacked. And then his Heavenly Hand Power Chidori is really great. It's got some of the best tracking of any of the Chidori Rasengan type moves in the game. It doesn't do that much damage, but it's a defense move, so it's not meant to do that much damage. But yeah, it has really great tracking, and you can use that to do things like run the flag. His ultimate is still not good. They buffed it since the last video, but it's still not one of the best ults. It takes too long, and it doesn't usually hit people. But also honorable mention to Isshiki, who just came out recently, so it's still kind of hard to gauge like how good he's going to be in Shinobi Striker, but his Sharingan type move is really great and really interesting the way it works. So defense types basically got a Sharingan that's even better than the normal Sharingan. If you activate it, you'll automatically sub from most ninjutsu. It doesn't make you sub from ultimates though, so that makes it a little bit worse than Sharingan, but you'll automatically use the time space hop sub, like once you sub from an attack or ninjutsu, and it will automatically negate any projectile that comes at you, so you won't even waste the sub if somebody tries to hit you with a projectile like Majestic Destroyer Flame or something. And then if they hit you with a close range attack, then you'll sub and do the time space hop, and then you can activate it again to do another attack. And then his Karma move is really good too, and it's just like an insult to hit somebody with it, because you just yoke them up and choke them and throw them away. And then you can activate that and do another attack, and you get like a Oboro Guruma type of buff to your movement speed and attack tracking. So yeah, both of those moves are really good, and its ultimate is crazy. It throws down like 10 giant cubes, just raining down cubes at random spots. I'm still not sure how the tracking works on it, but it's really great at CC, and it's good at killing people because it does a decent amount of damage, and it just completely messes up the player's screen so that they can't see any of the HUD or like lock on to people or anything like that. So yeah, he's a really good DLC, but if you notice in this list, Season 5 hasn't actually changed any of the #1 spots for the best DLC in the game, partly because Season 5 was so well balanced. Like, none of the DLC in Season 5 were bad, but none of them were broken either. Because so now when we look at like the best DLC, the list technically has not changed since the last time I made it at the end of Season 4, because none of the Season 5 DLC is broken enough to replace any of the broken DLC from earlier seasons. And I think that's why the devs are starting to nerf some of the old DLC, like Itachi, for example, who's even after his recent nerfs is still the best healer DLC. So I'm not sure if they're going to start trying to nerf other things like Kurama Link mode or like Adult Naruto DLC and stuff like that eventually. But Season 5 was the best season, partly because they finally figured out how to bring us balanced DLC. Baryon Mode Naruto, I would say, is the closest one to being broken, but even he is not good enough to overtake Adult Naruto, the Boruto version. So yeah, man, GG's to the devs for Season 5 making these really good DLC that aren't cracked like the old DLC, and hopefully they end up balancing the old DLC so that all the DLC are kind of on a similar level, so they're all more interesting and there are more moves that are viable to use. But yeah, so that's my best DLC updated list for post Season 5. Let me know what you guys think is the best DLC, and do you think that any of the Season 5 DLC has taken the top spot for any of the classes? Yeah, I'm really interested to know, especially if you guys think that if Baryon Mode Naruto is the best attack type DLC now. But I wouldn't say that any of the other ones are even coming close to beating the old best DLC from the previous seasons. But yeah, let me know. I want to know what you guys think. I'm also going to be making updated tier lists for the DLC, and I'm going to make new videos about ranking each DLC within each class, like we did at the end of Season 4. Because like I said, Season 5 DLC was really good, but none of it was broken, so none of them took the top spot, but a lot of them are at least like number 2 or 3 within their respective classes now, so we'll update those lists as well. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Be sure to Shinobi strike that like button, subscribe for more content, because I'm definitely going to have a lot coming for you guys before Season 6 drops, and then when Season 6 drops, we'll be covering that. And yeah, let me know what you guys want to see, what other videos you want to see, what topics you want me to cover. I hope this video was helpful, even though technically none of the top spots changed, but yes, I hope it was still helpful for you, just to see like what Season 5 DLC is coming near the top of these lists. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Everybody stay safe out there. Peace and love.